Happy Thursday and day 4 of prep week. Today we're going to be talking about the faster way mindset and our approach to gluten and dairy. So you may have noticed in the meal guides there is a strange absence of cheese and bread. And you may have also heard that we aim to eliminate gluten and dairy just as much as possible. And I know this may either sound extreme or extremely difficult or both. So, like everything in the faster way, we do practice progress and not perfection. So let me just explain why we believe in eliminating gluten and dairy when possible. So gluten and dairy foods tend to cause a very inflammatory reaction in the body. In fact, about 75% of the world's population is genetically unable to actually digest milk and other dairy products properly. So before the faster way came into my life, cheese was like my number 2 food group, which is probably a close tie with bread. So this was a very kind of far-fetched idea that I could really just give these two things up. So even if you do not have a condition like celiac, which is associated with gluten intolerance, these foods can still have a very inflammatory reaction in your body. And the surprising thing is that most people really have no idea that gluten or dairy may be kind of the underlying cause to some different health ailments. So many clients notice a huge difference after just a couple weeks by removing these foods from their diets. Their digestion improves, their bloating is either reduced or eliminated altogether, their skin conditions improve, etc. So I can personally vouch for all of these benefits. I never had associated, my evening kind of bloating or indigestion to the dairy or the gluten that I had consumed that day. Maybe if I had, a lot of queso at the Mexican restaurant, sure, I would think that would probably upset my stomach, but not just day-to-day consumption. So when I cut out these foods, for the most part with the faster way, those symptoms just went away. So I just encourage you to think about it, at least paying attention to the gluten and dairy this week. And if you're up to the challenge, and I know some of you are, I know some of you all are competitive and determined like this, just try giving up all dairy for 2 weeks and just see if you feel better. You should notice improvements within your digestion, in your sinuses, postnasal drip, headaches, IBS, your energy certainly, and your weight. So, then slowly you can incorporate some of those items back one at a time just to see how you feel. If you feel worse, then you should try to cut them out. For others of you eliminating gluten and dairy, it may take time. So my advice is just to, when possible, try to cut them out and do the best you can. Most of the time I do try to be gluten and dairy light. I eat it when I really want it, but I do try to cut it out and just be more conscious of it because I find that I don't really need it. So during these 6 weeks, just try first to cut back and build up to that elimination. And then gradually you can add one type of dairy back and see how your body responds. I noticed, for example, I was more sensitive to some dairy and some gluten and not as sensitive to others. So this more slow, controlled method really helped. Okay, now you know why we recommend eliminating this, but also understand that this is based on scientific research into the inflammatory properties of these foods. If you don't have an issue, continue to enjoy them. But I do encourage you first to educate yourself and make sure that you don't have any issues by trying the elimination. So do the best you can. All right, let's switch gears and talk about mindset. We have 3 core beliefs in the faster way philosophy. First, we focus on progress and not perfection. Second, we celebrate non-scale victories. And third, we believe that our community is really the key to success. Now, you've heard me say, focus on progress, not perfection. This is because progress, we really celebrate those small wins all along the way. The small wins build and they lead to big wins. And that keeps us motivated to stay the course. We also celebrate what we call non-scale victories, or NSVs. You'll see sometimes. Your success is not going to be the number on the scale. I really just want you to throw away your scale, which sounds extreme. But I only ask for your weight one time on the intake form, and that's for a reason. That's the only time I want you to weigh yourself. And you may have heard this concept that the scale is a liar, and I honestly believe that there's a lot of validity to that concept. The scale isn't going to tell you that you're sleeping better or that you have more energy. It may not even tell you that your pants are fitting looser or your shirts are fitting a little bit looser. Plus, we all know that, and we've all heard, that muscle weighs more than fat, and we're working on reducing our fat and building our lean muscle in this lifestyle. So we want to celebrate those non-scale victories every Friday. I'm going to ask you guys for some non-scale victories, and these can be anything non-weight related. And I can't wait for you all to start experiencing and sharing these, because it really is the best, and it really keeps you motivated to keep going. So more on that tomorrow. And finally, third, we believe that community is key. Relying on the Faster Way community is really key to reaching your health and wellness goals. If you ever feel overwhelmed, let me know. I know this week it's very overwhelming. Reach out to me and let me help you. You have an entire community behind you who wants to see you succeed. We know you can succeed. This group is here to support you when it gets tough. We're going to encourage you when it's great. So don't struggle alone. Reach out to me. Reach out to some accountability buddies if you're doing this with some friends, or develop friends through the program, or the whole group. You're not alone. We're in this together. And if you lean on this community, it can really contribute to your success in this lifestyle long term. I promise you that. Okay. Keep up the good work, everyone. We're learning a lot this week, and you're doing awesome. I'm so proud of each of you for committing to being a beginner and a learner. It's hard for us, certainly at these points in our life where we feel like we've mastered a lot of things. It's hard to be the beginner and the learner. But these strategies are the foundation for all the results you're going to experience the next few weeks. Great work, and we'll talk soon.